Just having both Daniel Leshon and Leshon Williams back, how much easier does that make your job, and how gratifying was it to see a good rushing performance on Saturday?
Much easier job. Obviously, you don't have to worry about if something happens, what are you going to do next or whatnot. So it was huge. And it was just fun to get them both out there and then get the ground game going. And obviously, you saw Nolan out there, and that was helped out. But it was just good to get those guys both healthy again. It kind of felt like, I can't remember last time, it kind of felt like early in the season. And the good thing is, like, when you hit a lead, you hope you can do that and eat up clock. And that's the best thing, is the 8 or 9 minutes. I don't know how long the drive was at the end, but like being able to eat up the clock and kind of end the game on our terms. It was huge. And it's a big compliment to those two dudes and the line, obviously, the tight ends.
Has not having them healthy together limited what you maybe thought you were going to do before the season started offensively?
I don't know if it's limited. Sometimes it's limited within each game.
Sure.
Sometimes like maybe, hey, well, and then maybe even the guy who's healthy might not be healthy, if that makes sense to you. Like, not exactly. So you got to get some ball distribution, get the ball out to people, throw the ball more, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So having both guys, like, you got the full confidence of what you want to do offensively. You're like, okay, great. If it's going, great, keep it going. I have no problem like handing the ball up, whatever, 10 straight times, whatever we got. Like, I had no idea. I don't keep track. I'm going to say, oh, looks good. Looks good. So and he did a great job. He didn't look tired. He was rolling.
Have you ever had that happen where one player gets 10
No,
carries
I didn't
in a
know it
row?
until Andy just said something. I apologize. Like, I know Coach mentioned it before. I didn't even think about it. Because those guys, how do you say this? Those guys have rotated. Once they're healthy, they rotate anyway. So I never know. I don't think there's a play for Daniel or a play for Leshon for the most part when they're both healthy. They're not in that case. So I didn't know who was. I know someone was carrying the rock, and I'm like, sometimes I know who scores. Not to be me, because I think I really respect. I trust them. I respect them. I love them both, and I know that Jayhawks get them in and out, and I trust those guys, and they roll.
On that topic, then,
Yeah.
I don't think we ever talked about it, but like, how does that substitution work? Like, is that on Coach Wallace? Is he deciding who's in, who's out?
Yeah, like the rotations, we as coaches talk about. Lance obviously has the end all. If you want somebody in, or we always talk about before the game, like on Fridays, or hey, you're gonna do this, or roll it this way, or hey, we're gonna rotate 2 series, or whatever it goes. Sometimes, so he trusts Jay Wall. Because sometimes he says, hey, I need somebody else in, then they go in. But yeah, a lot of times it's communicated before. And they know, and then sometimes Jay will just keep the hot hand potentially. Sometimes that goes sometimes, but it's always we talk about it before, and the coach can obviously do whatever he wants to trump that baby. He can.
Hey Jay, you guys had some. Did you see success when you're bringing in the extra O lineman for a blocker?
I felt it most was at the end. I felt it throughout. Obviously, we're moving the ball and we're doing well. It's kind of a mixture. It's going great. But at the end, you kind of felt that's when you kind of saw the surge in the box on the last drive after I think they went for it. Didn't get it, I think, so like a 40-some yard drive. That's when you saw the O-line start going, like the line of scrimmage go from here down. Ooh, that's, like that's what you basically called the same play like 5 times in a row. It just kind of kept surging. That was kind of the fun. You felt it throughout the game, and Daniel and those guys are running well, but then that was the moment you saw, you're like, ooh, that line of scrimmage has changed drastically, and that's a good thing.
You've had Nolan do it most of the time, but I think at the end, Tabake also got a couple snaps in that role. I guess what kind of traits make for a good 6th offensive player?
No, nothing special. It's kind of like who's next up. Sometimes who, usually a lot of times it can be anybody. Some people use guard tackle easier sometimes because they're out there on the edge already. That makes sense to you. And then it's kind of a mixture of, hey, this is the guy we want, and playing well, practicing well, and kind of the next guy. So I don't know if there's a specific trait. And now if you change the number around, there needs to be a little trait, obviously, but it's something. But no, there isn't really. It's really this next guy up. So I think Enrique, whoever it may be, goes.
What do you see from Arizona's defense?
Really good, really good. Run around really well. They're multiple there. I think it's the same coordinator, I think, through the Urlacher days back in the day. I think the Desert Storm, this type of stuff, but really good, fast in the back end. They rush the passer exceptionally well with either 4 guys or they bring pressure and they're bringing it. Their cornerbacks are outstanding. Really good cover skills, and they're probably one of the more, if not most, multiple teams in the back end. Just in terms of the different looks. When you watch them on tape, they're kind of, and all over the place, the compliment to them. Because they're all over, and it's making it hard to see what's happening sometimes. So I can see why they cause confusion and interceptions, I think, have happened. They're way up there in interception and those kind of things. So I think they do a great job of causing confusion. And like I said, they all run well, and they're playing really well. and they play with high. You always say, they play hard, but they play with a great amount of energy. That is a high energy program. You can see on the sideline, they make a play and they're jumping up and down, and they're playing out, they're feasting off of turnovers and lost yardage plays and that kind of stuff. So we got to do our best, hopefully maintain what we did last week.
What's it like kind of building a foundation when you're taking on a new conference opponent that you haven't seen before? Just getting used to it.
No, it's not. It's good, great, really good question. It's kind of, the good thing, you kind of see them throughout the season. You see them on tape occasionally. So you kind of get a feel like what's a little bit sometimes you see more of certain teams than others. So it's really just that first, the initial look, and then you really need that first game out there before you get a really good feel. But a lot of times you see them okay, and then after the first time it's kind of is what it is.
How did you feel like Jalen performed on Saturday?
Solid. I said really solid. I said there was the one. I said they're always like, I saw it as a compliment. I thought he controlled the game well. He ran well. Obviously, when you have no turn, like you eliminate turnovers and minus plays is huge after the last couple of weeks. So that's what I was really most proud of him. And then really solid in that regard. I think he wants the one back when Camp's running wild down the middle of the field and he throws to E-Man. That's always like, hey, E-Man's over there. The one-on-one, and the defense was kind of soft, and like, ooh, and Camp broke through on the tempo. So I was happy, and I was happy with the high conversion rate on third and fourth down. That was a big thing. Making those things, making those plays, and keeping us on the field. So I was really pleased and happy for people call it bounce back. I told myself I was just really proud of the way he played. He played like with poise and looked calm and relaxed and comfortable again. Hopefully keep that.
Bryson kind of emerged with 2 big receptions. Talk about his growth throughout the season and how he performed on Saturday.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I couldn't remember when he was actually full, like second, third, fourth game, something like that. And then he kept gaining reps. When you saw him early, like, man, that's a long, athletic kid with great hands and really great at the 50-50 balls T-Sam calls it, or that. And it's just kind of, he learned, our offense has obviously a lot of moving pieces, parts to it, and learn a lot. He started getting more and more comfortable throughout that time. He started playing a little bit more, and now you're kind of seeing hey, I know where I'm going, what I'm doing now. So it's been great. That's the biggest growth. And him being able to play, we call it free and fast, because he knows where to line now. He knows the verbiage and the terminology and all that stuff so well, now he can just go play. So it's been really fun. It was good. I don't know, last time we threw a fade ball. Like, that was freaking, I'd laugh going, geez, Louise. But that was good to see it, thank goodness.
How's Leighton McCure doing now that he's playing kind of his most football for you guys?
You know what? I was most proud. I'm proud of all those guys, but I was so proud of him and happy for him. Because there's been some moments where he's gone out there maybe and something good didn't happen to him, or he made a mistake, or he dropped a ball, or missed a block. Right? He just played. He played probably the most he's played in a long time. And the third down catch was huge. And then I laughed at him about the other one when he could have scored a touchdown. I guess he didn't want it. But, I guess he just wanted that. He wanted someone else to garner that touchdown. But the fourth down was not easy. And that's a big, crucial call. And he caught it and broke a tackle, kind of got ahead. So I was so happy. Hopefully I would give him confidence that he can do. We know he can, but to be able to finally do it on the stage, on a big stage, has been awesome. So excited for him.
I know we've asked you about this at a couple different junctures this season, but how are the guys in that room responding to increased responsibility and just fewer overall bodies, I guess?
I think they're responding well. I think they're, how do you say this? I'm going to say it's really weird probably. I think they have no problem with no one going out there sometimes. And those guys play because you start realizing the amount of 12 personnel we use, those guys do so many different things, so it's good for them to, I think they're responding well, and they're a really tight group. Like I said, all the groups are, but quarterback's really tight, and the tight ends are really tight. So I think they kind of root for each other, cheer for each other, and excited. And I think they kind of pulled Mikey in, they pulled Nolan in. He's not, but he's got to pull him in. I think they're happy for success. So they've done well.
How much time is Mikey spending in the meeting room with you versus in the meeting room with
mostly tight end room, mostly tight end now, and then I catch him up because he knows it. The good thing now is just as he sees the plays. He knows unless there's a true wrinkle of a player, like, hey, a new deal. But he's been here long enough now where he can get the little intricacies with Coach Lubick, and then like, hey, here's a different check, or here's some other stuff. So more time with him because obviously that's a newer part. And then I always catch him up and get him out there. And he does snaps and catches up. He's kind of a multi-train. He's getting multi-trained, if that makes sense.
Isaiah Marshall had that long run. How do you determine when to use him and if you're going to want to use him more? Only use him that one time in the game.
No, you do. That's really good because sometimes as things are going, you're like, okay, anytime a carry occurs, it takes a carry away from somewhere else, or is the flow of the game, especially quarterback-wise, because you're like, this dude, especially when he's taking a snap. Like, okay, is that going to And luckily, the way we practice hasn't been a problem. But there's no real. I kind of in my mind go, okay, these are 2 or 3 plays I want to make sure I get to. And sometimes the game dictates, yeah, or like, ooh. And then they want to get my head at halftime, like, okay, we got to get to that play. I'm pretty sure the 3rd quarter, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said, we got to get to that play. And I said, I just got to do it. And did it. And I was after, I think our defense had a great stack. They had a short punt or something like that, and then he gashed it. So I was always there. I was hoping to use it earlier. Just kind of the game kind of dictated. It was so weird. We had 2 drives at first half, and it's like a military game. Sometimes you've been in the Army before, you don't get the ball very much. But I don't know if I've ever got it only 2 times. You usually get like 3rd time, that token at the end of half. Hey, do I go? You didn't get that. So that's why it didn't happen as soon. And then it went, and I'm like, that was terrific. We laughed at it. I'm like, dude, you got to run down. But that kid was fast. Whoever chased him was fast because he's fast. I know there's 2 fast dudes running. So it was good. And the good thing is you've seen both the guys out there, and they'll keep garnering more and more. We'll see how. There's always going to be packages for those guys.
And speaking of the speed, they've been really focusing on taking Emmanuel away.
Yes.
Defenses has in recent weeks. How's he handling that attention, and how are you handling?
No, I think he's handling it well. He's such a great. You can never tell him. I'm sure, especially when you're getting doubled up, or they're playing soft on him, or they're kind of rolling coverages towards him, which then is kind of freeing up some other people. So I think he's handling it well. And then for me, I've seen it, like it got through a little bit in the K-State world. When you say, hey, they're playing a little more off than you thought they showed man-wise. So that kind of adjustment, and this one, the same thing, kind of similar structure. Where I thought initially maybe kind of would bring more or play more man early, kind of play zone until 3rd down and long, and brought some stuff. So he's handled it well. I think I think we're adjusting. Hey, you got to take what they give you, and move on. And then occasionally you just want to be able to have those few moments still that give him a chance. That's why I know what I've done a great job with that. Yeah, I keep working through that.
Do you ever want to force feed it?
I do kind of sometimes, and then all of a sudden it gets like a weird time happen and I don't. But yeah, I think in the back of your mind you're going, hey, just got to throw it up there. And I think the NFL guys do a really good job of sometimes they just throw it out there and see what happens. I think they, I know watching those guys, so I've had certain reasons why certain guys get so many touches. So there's some of that too. I'm like, hey, there's some moments where I just say, hey, throw it that way. But the scary part, the one time we did it, the Cam's running down the middle of the field. So it's a no-win, but yes, you are 100% correct.
When you talk about NFL guys you still ended up there, are there ones that you gravitate toward more?
Quarterback-wise or receiver or coach-wise? No, the Bike is a Jefferson kid. Not a kid, young man. I always say it that way, but he's unbelievable. Like you can see when he watched, and we watch a little NFL football now because we're obviously here, and they catch little tidbits of it. But that kid, he kind of stands out. But whenever I saw the Bike, it seemed like the ball just finds him, and that's kind of the one that has for some reason has stuck out. I know there's other ones. For sure, I'm a terrible name guy. He's the one that always just kind of pops out. That Bike has just popped out. Maybe they're playing in Europe or something, or whatever they were. Something I caught a little bit of their games. I'm like, they find a way to get them the ball.
What are you seeing from your defensive line, and how can you generate more pressure at this point in the season?
I think we're doing a good job. We got 19, 20 sacks. I think we got a lot of different pressures there. So they're doing a good job. We're doing a lot of different things, and I think we're getting after people. So we'll just continue to do that, get our guys better, and continue to get them to the quarterback.
Speaking of quarterback, have you seen when you look at the tape of Arizona's quarterback?
He's special. He's a special quarterback, one of the best in the league. They do a really good job what they do. Man, they got one of the best offenses in the league, and he's the main reason why, really. So it's going to be a big challenge for us. He's able to throw with great accuracy, great timing, and then he's able to use his legs when he wants to. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us down there. They're playing great ball. They're playing with a lot of confidence. The games that they lost have been really close losses. In their mind, they probably feel like they're 7-1, and they should. And so it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Yeah, and Coach Love will talk about his accuracy. He's kind of more of a pocket quarterback compared to some of the other guys he faced in the past. How different is that in preparation for practice for you guys compared to some of the dual threats you guys have faced?
And it's always difficult to go against great quarterbacks. And, like I said, it's going to be a huge challenge with just what he does with both his arm and his leg. And he does a great job too, man. He can throw. He makes some NFL throws where guys aren't really open. He throws them open, and you don't see that a lot in college. Or guys who are before they stop their route. He's already delivered the ball, and so some of those things are really special and interesting to watch. So he's a heck of a quarterback. I heard a lot about him. Really didn't get to watch him a lot last year just because we didn't play him. But now to see him on film, I can see why there's been a big buzz about him. It should be. He earned it.
Saeed's day got cut short, but what did you see that made you want to put him on the outside? And it looks like he did pretty well when he was there.
Just he's done a good job in practice, and we kind of need that spot. We're moving J. Todd kind of inside as much as we have, so we just kind of put a guy out there, and he's done a really good job in practice. Then he came out and had a good game. Unfortunately, like you said, it was cut short just by the targeting call, and but he did a really good job with the PBU covering guys, and that's what he's done in practice when he's been healthy.
How will you guys adjust with him out for the first half of this game?
Just the next guy got to be able to go, and we got some guys, and they just got to be ready to go. And then when we get them back for the second half, be ready to go. So it's unfortunate what happened, but it was a good call, and we got to continue to teach our guys that put their target lower.
Coach Blackwell talked about turnovers on defense, forcing more. What are the controllable things you guys can do to be in that position?
Yeah, if the ball's in the air, we got to attack the football. We got to play with our eyes and get us into a good position there to be able to play. Then we got to punch and try to strip at the ball too, and kind of take advantage of guys have the ball loose away from the body. We got to take advantage of that, and then takeaways are really just more technique and awareness. And so I think we got to continue to increase our awareness when we got those opportunities to make plays.
There's a weird, crazy, I don't know, stat going around for you guys on defense that there's not been a pass interference accepted against you guys this year. What do you make of a stat like that?
None really. I mean, they didn't accept it. We've had pass interferences, they just didn't accept them. So I mean, it's just a stat. I guess it is crazy. Yeah.
DK, you guys are using some DNs in pass coverage. Is that something you've always done?
Yeah, it's something I've always been around. If you have guys who can do it, I mean, that's not something you can do every year. I think having, Dean, with his skill set that he has, being a lighter body, he's able to do it. You can see the number of tackles that he can make in space. And plus, having a bigger body out there, we feel that that's beneficial when a wide receiver tries to block Dean or try to, block Leroy. We feel like we got the advantage with so many teams that play in space. So it's just something we can do. I don't think it's something you can do year to year. You just got to kind of see the guys that you have, and if you're able to do things like that. If you're not, then you just can't do it. But if you can, then it's another benefit that you have to be able to add some layers to your defense.
I saw a stat yesterday that Arizona's defense has improved almost like 100 spots compared to last year. Do you think that's easier to do with the portal now that you can plug guys in?
A little bit. You can get infusion of talent, and get some NFL guys, on your roster, which can always help. But also with that, they still got to learn. I know there's some teams that have a lot of portal guys and they're struggling, and so I still think it's got to do with chemistry, how you can teach it, how the guys can learn it, then how they can go out and execute it. But to have a lot of talent on your roster, I know Texas Tech is kind of the same way. They had a huge jump, and when you get those NFL guys on your defense, I imagine that helps quite a bit. You can coach them up, and there's some good coaches. I mean, Coach Gonzalez is one of the best in the nation in what he does, and so it's no surprise that they're better at defense.
What are some of, I guess, broadly speaking, the main points that you're emphasizing to your defense at this point in the season?
It's always the same thing, try to play fast, physical for each other. We got to do a great job communicating. We got to do a great job getting a line. We got to do a great job getting off blocks. We got to do a great job tackling. We got to run to the football. And I think those things never change in what you believe. That's why they're called core values, because they're at the core of who you are and what you do. Now, we got to do them better, naturally, but I don't think you can change your core values from week to week and game to game. They got to be who you are, what you believe in, what's etched in your heart, and then you got to go out and perform it.
You talked about Arizona's quarterback. Elsewhere on the offense, where does your mind go? What sticks out?
They got a tremendous collection of wide receivers. You can tell in the game, if you watch the last week's game against Colorado, there were some throws that, he made, they caught, and they ended up turning them into explosive plays. And so they're really good with that. The one guy who's kind of unsung on their defense, offense, and not a lot of people talk about is the running back. I think he's really good. Really explosive. He's not a big guy, but, man, he can run and he can make some explosive plays. And then their offensive line is big. They got some big guys up there who can cover you up. And then those two tackles do a great job of moving their feet and keeping guys away from the quarterback. But they do a really good job of, with those big guards, keeping people out of the way of the quarterback because he's a shorter guy. So they really make sure people don't collapse the pocket. Then the tackles do a good job building around them, which allows them to be a great pocket quarterback. So they're interesting to watch. And like I said, you can tell why they're averaging 34 or whatever points a game. And they're explosive on all levels, which is good for them.
I guess, first of all, what was it like getting your first career sack?
Honestly, it felt like a dream come true. It was like one of the moments where you always like imagining and you always have this vision of you doing something great, and then when it finally happens, you know what I'm saying, after a lot of trials and tribulations. It's like one of them ones, like it's like a woosah moment. So it finally happened, and I was very blessed for it to happen. Yeah.
I guess generally speaking, what's it been like adapting to playing more this season?
Honestly, just trying to get in and not change up the floor of the game. Come in and bring the energy and finish off where whoever came out left at. You feel me? So I don't want to come in and the energy go from here to here or the execution go from here to here. I just want to come in and keep the team rolling.
For a long time, the D tackles talk about being the engine of the defense, and you mentioned the energy. I guess at this point in the season, how well do you feel like you guys overall have done in that role?
Honestly, we have areas we can work at in that role, but I feel like we've been trying to accept that role, and we did a good job being more intentional of trying to bring joy, try to bring the energy, and try to be positive all around the team in every room and stuff like that.
Your snaps have really increased over the last couple of weeks. What do you feel like you've done in practice to earn those reps?
Honestly, just keep practicing hard, sticking to the routine, trusting my coach and my teammates, and honestly just being a sponge. You know what I'm saying? I see my teammates out there go out there make great plays, and they're not like they're not selfish players. So they come to the sideline and they give out any knowledge they have. So I just be sitting there jotting down, and whenever my time comes, whatever my numbers get called, I'm gonna answer it.
What do you see from Arizona's offensive line and their offense?
Big offensive line, very physical. I would say they're very well mannered, and they're like one big system. They all do everything together. I would say they're very organized, very talented, just ready to play physical. I just feel like they're gonna play very physical. They show a lot of physicality on tape and stuff like that. So we just ready to play some big football.
After the sack, you had the celebration.
Yes, sir.
Was that planned? What was that like?
No, it wasn't planned. Ironically, I was doing the dance before the game, though. But it was just one of the moments I didn't have no dance to do. And I heard Blake. I was in the game with Blake. Blake got in the sack like right after me. And he was telling me, just do it, just do it. I'm like, I knew it. I already knew what he was talking about, so I just bring out a dance.
Have you found anybody that can beat you in one-on-one on basketball yet?
Oh, absolutely not. Well, Jaden Nickens, you know what I'm saying? Him, that doesn't count, though. That doesn't count. Everybody besides him, I feel like they're fried. Besides, we got some very talented basketball players. You know who also is very good? Coach McDaniels is a hooper. I'm not going to lie. He's a hooper. But probably out of them two, I feel like I'm good with anybody else.
You and Blake, obviously, are in the same recruiting class. What's it been like to be able to go out there and play alongside him, and for both you guys to have success?
It's honestly like a whole 360, like coming in as young bucks, and then Blake actually played earlier than me. Like he played last year, so like watching him go out there was like a being happy feeling for my brother type thing. And now I'm on the field with him. It's like a whole 360. Cause we used to have a lot of talks about when we go out there and when it's going to be our time to play together and have fun and stuff like that. But being able to create and share memories like this is amazing.
Did it motivate you too that Blake was out there last year?
Absolutely. And honestly, like it was so exciting watching him play, because like Blake is like one of the most humble people ever. He's not like, you know what I'm saying, he's not cocky or nothing like that. He come to work every day, and you know what I'm saying, he put his body and his life on the line at every play with 100% effort. And that's a player I like watching to, you know what I'm saying, to motivate me, because if you just watch his motor and watch how he go about things on the field, it's just like he's just a dude at all times. So like it was very motivational and inspirational, to be honest with you, watch Blake out there do his thing at a young age.
You guys as a defensive tackle group, you're asked to do a lot, right? Different scheme stuff. Like, what's it like playing different roles within the same game and the same game plan?
Honestly, it could be confusing at sometimes, but that's where luckily we have a lot of experience in this room. So now, instead of me having to deal with it by myself, I can go ask the players that's very experienced with this, because like, you know what I'm saying, even though they've been through a couple different coaches, they seen similar schemes or something like that. So they're very able to put it in simpler terms and dummy it down sometimes for me.
Who's the guy you go to the most?
Honestly, it'll probably be DJ Withers and Tommy Dunn, but Blake is very like every teammate honestly I can go to, but like it's just Tommy and DJ, they just know so much because they just been through different schemes and they can put stuff together really fast. So like they'll see a play and be like, oh, it remind me of this play, and they'll tell me that and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You feel me? So.
Was quite filled up at home weekend. What do you guys need to do to get to the point where the last home game is sold out and kind of packed like it's been in some of the games before that?
I feel like truthfully, that come with just winning and giving the fans something to enjoy watching.
But for the most part, I think it was a good turnout. I felt the energy for the people who did show up, so I appreciate the ones who did come.
Have you ever had a game, maybe ever in your entire career that you can remember, where you got 10 consecutive carries in a row?
Nah, I ain't never did that. That was like a gut check right there.
So what was kind of your thought process as that was happening? You were just on the field, keep getting the ball, you just keep going?
The quicker I score, the faster I get off the field. So that's when it ended. At some point, I knew they weren't going to take me out, so I was like, I just got to score so I can finish the drive.
Yeah.
Are you tired at all?
Oh, definitely. I'm human, man. No matter how good of a shape you is, you run the ball 10 times straight, you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
When you got down near that goal line, though, you were ready to go, weren't you?
I still was tired. But once again, if I score, it's over with. So I wish I would have scored probably the 6th run, but I still was tired.
Leshon, what's it been like now? You and Daniel both appear healthy. You're both playing together, and now the running game is good. How big is it that you guys are both healthy now?
Great, because I feel like we can feed off each other, be a great 1-2 punch. I feel like we both be hard to tackle for defense. We can wear them down, which will also help out the passing game and everything else in the offense. So I feel like it's great.
Sorry if you were asked about this already, but what was it like getting 10 carries in a row?
Oh, man, it was a grind, man. I was tired out there. But once again, I mean, we was a little closer to the end zone, I felt like. So at some point, probably about the 5th carry, I kind of knew I wouldn't. I looked to the sideline. They ain't had no intention of taking me off, so I just figured the only way I'm getting off the field is if I score. So just trying to get a touchdown, if anything.
How did you feel like the offensive line was playing in front of you guys? Felt like they were getting a bit of more of a push in that game. Did that kind of help you with the run game too?
Oh, they was doing great, man. Crazy. The week before, like a couple days before that game, we had took them out to eat, so that probably would have played a role in it right there. Probably got to take them out to eat again.
It's a couple of times this year you've said like touchdown's the only way for you to get off the field.
Yeah.
Is that something you frequently think about?
Like, yeah, every time I get the ball, I'm trying to score a touchdown. That's the quickest way to the sideline to go get a break.
What do you see from Arizona's defense?
They physical. I feel like they do a lot of blitzes and everything like that. Got a couple athletic guys out there. A good all-around defense for the most part, and I feel like we'll be ready though. We're ready for the challenge.
You guys want to win more than just one more game, but one more is what it takes to reach bowl eligibility. Any conversations about that? I mean, I know the focus is on Arizona, but
we're not all blind. I mean, we all hear the noise. We know we know what we got to do, but we're gonna just take it one game at a time and try to go 1-0.
What has it been like with both you and Daniel healthy at the same time? It feels like it was a yo-yo for a little while. When he was healthy, one's banged up. What's it like for you both now, getting back healthy?
It's great, because it take off stress off each other's body. We don't just put the load on one person. We can both feed off each other. And once again, I feel like when we both healthy, that it can wear down the defense, and that can only make the offense better. So,
I'm sure you already asked about it, but 10 straight carries. Did you do that in high school ever?
Nah, heck nah. Probably if I had 10 straight carries in high school, I probably scored by the 4th one. So.
What's that like though when you keep hearing the play call? Like, what do you think in the huddle? You're hearing
the crazy thing, it was the same play for 10 plays straight. But when I kept hearing it, I just knew right there, like, I ain't got no choice now, so got to grind it out.
Is it relieving then when you get in the end zone? You're like, there's not an 11th or a 12th.
Oh, definitely. We went over there and got some oxygen. Yep.
You guys have a lot of playmakers on offense. Yeah. I know it's not the same position group, but Bryson seems to be coming along and getting healthier. What can he bring to wide receiver?
Oh, man, Bryson, one of the best catches I've seen since I've been in college. Man, he made some crazy catches throughout practice. I feel like he can make a big impact, and I'm excited for him.
What do you see from Arizona's offensive line and their offense?
Oh, they definitely have a lot of good offensive linemen, especially that left tackle. Definitely a potential NFL guy. Looking at someone like their quarterback, Noah Fafita, that's a guy I'm pretty familiar with. Played in the high school out in Southern California, so definitely a fan of his game, and I can respect what he's doing with his offense.
What separates, in your mind, an NFL tackle from just a solid college one?
That's a good question. I would say a big thing is the IQ, like their IQ level, knowing how to pick up and read defenses, knowing what looks they're getting, how to pass off games and stunts that a defense is running. That could set them apart. Besides, of course, being more physically dominant than maybe someone who isn't.
For you, we've seen you play a lot. It's like a four down defensive end. Now you're playing someone's like a 5th or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
What's the difference between those two?
I would say it's a little bit of a different mentality. Obviously, when I'm in a 4-down front, rushing off the edge as a true defensive end, maybe a little more hand in the ground. You're working with less space, so the offensive tackle gets on you a little faster. So just knowing how to use your hands and, you know, being strong at the point of attack versus when you're working in more space, you have a little more time to think about what you want to do. And also, it's all about setting up your offensive lineman, trying to see what he's doing and get him to dictate his set, stuff like that.
Are you comfortable playing in space like that? Coach D kind of talked about wanting to do that for you. Are you comfortable doing that?
Yeah, 100%. As I was saying, I feel like I'm an athletic defensive end, edge rusher, so I feel like that's something that definitely it doesn't throw me off. I'm comfortable playing in space.
What have you seen from Leroy so far this year?
Leroy, that's a strong, athletic guy. I feel like he brings a lot of value to the defense. He's a versatile guy. I feel like just like myself, you could drop him into coverage and you could also rush him off the edge and he can cause some havoc.
What were your first impressions of him, and has he surprised you at all, or is he the same kind of guy?
I mean, I knew when he came in, he was a hard worker. He just puts his head down and work. He's very attentive in the classroom when we're watching film. But I feel like he's just continued to take steps and grow in this program, both in the weight room, physically and mentally.
Thanks.
You guys are 5 wins. What are the conversations like? I mean, I know it's going to be next game up, next man up, that type of thing.
Right.
Any conversations with your teammates or the coaches about the importance of going to Arizona and getting this one?
I mean, sure, obviously it's all about taking that next step. And for us, it's becoming bowl eligible, getting that 6th win. Coach Leipold, we always talk about just taking it one game at a time. So we're not really looking any past Arizona this week, but just taking it one game at a time and just trying to maximize our opportunities with the games we have left.
Yeah, that play against Oklahoma State where he kind of ran a guy down from behind and had a big hit.
Yeah.
What did you see on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I saw him throw the ball, just how I play. I like swarming to the ball, rallying, trying to support my guys. He made a cut inside, kind of ran right into me. It worked out pretty well. Yeah.
What do you guys have to do? This might be more of a question for a coach, but to win, to beat Arizona, what do you guys have to do defensively?
I would say just be disciplined, do your job. If there's a gap you got to be in, stay there. You know, have clean eyes, clean feet, clean hands. Make sure. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, just doing your job, doing your 1-11, playing 11 as one, and it'll work out in your favor.
No, it was cool. I didn't know, obviously, in the moment, didn't really realize that it was a record-breaking kick. Just seemed routine. And then, after the game, I checked my phone and I saw it, so definitely made me happy.
Are you glad in a way that you didn't know, or does that make a difference, I guess? Do you feel like you would have thought any different if you knew?
I mean, I don't know. Probably not. You kind of just have to force those things in the back of your mind and not let them take over. But, it was definitely easier to not have to think about, this is going to be the one that, breaks the record.
But even still, I mean, I'm sure you must be aware that you've made a lot this season.
Yeah.
So you had the confidence, I guess, knowing.
Like I said, I mean, it was a routine kick for us. We were more than in range, and I mean, I trust our guys that they send out there, and so I trust myself to do my job. So
obviously more left to do, but I guess what does it mean to you that in a short time at KU you'll leave your name in the record book somewhere?
It's huge. That's a good question. It's really important to me. I made an impact at South Alabama. And, one of my things was, if I'm going to transfer, I don't want to transfer somewhere where I'm just going to peter out. I want to make an impact somewhere. And that was my challenge to myself over the offseason. How do you keep your edge? And we talk about that a lot, within our program, within our culture. And, so I'm glad that some of that hard work is starting to come to fruition. And, I can say that, hey, I've left a mark at KU.
When you were in the transfer portal, was that any part of what KU maybe pitched to you coming here, that you could make that type of impact?
Yeah, absolutely. They said we want to bring you here to make field goals and be the guy. That's obviously a few things have to come together before that plan can be shown to everybody else, but it does feel like stuff is coming together in a good way. Everybody's really clicking.
Sorry. How important was it knowing Kyle DeWeen and having the connection that you felt comfortable?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just knew, the type of coach he was. So, a lot of times I've transferred twice, and one of them was more of I'm taking a really big risk here. I don't know anybody in the state of Alabama, let alone Mobile. I really didn't know anybody in Lawrence, Kansas either, but I knew Kyle Dween. I know that the type of coach he was and the way he's going to like stick up for his guys and really try to put them in the best possible situations to succeed. And that's really important for me my last year. So, yeah.
All these makes. Do you remember your last miss?
Yeah, of course I remember it. Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah, it's just one of those things, I mean, people miss. Like, I'm human.
Sure. But it's been a while.
People do. It has been a while, and that's a good thing. Hoping to just continue to increase that and make the record harder to break. But those things are just they happen, and you can either wallow in it or you can accept the mistake and get better from it and make the next one. And so, yeah, that's what I tried to do. Yeah. So
You made a 55-yarder, I
Yeah.
believe. Where does the leg for you max out, I guess? So where are you at right now, and where do you see yourself being able to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think it obviously, like, it depends on the conditions, you know what I mean? And that's a real thing when you're talking about, 55, 60-yard range. Obviously you just seen, Cam Little, who's my age, was in my class, just hit a 68-yarder, in game and hit a 70-yarder preseason. I think I can hit from 60. That 55-yarder was good from pretty deep. I think some people said it would have been good from 62, 63. So, you just kind of have to see. I have to see and see what Coach Leipold is comfortable with, the situation of the game. Is it 4th and 2, and we need a score, and it's more likely we can get this 4th and short than a 65-yard field goal, or is it like Texas Tech where there's a few seconds left? Why not give them a try? So those sort of situations, like when they come up, we assess them and you go out there and do your job if you're asked to.
I guess since you mentioned Cam Little, what's your take on? It seems like kickers' ranges are getting deeper and deeper.
Absolutely.
By the week, even.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I mean, 50 is the new, 60 is the new 50.
Yeah.
It used to be guys can hit from 50, and that's just like, it's not that special anymore, really. You look at, like, obviously the 55-yarder was deep, but you look at some of the deeper kicks in college this season, and, guys have 58, 59. I think there's a guy with a 60.
Mm-hmm.
So, kickers just keep getting stronger, and that range starts to increase for sure. This might be a somewhat silly question. You mentioned the conditions, but you're going to go play at Arizona where it's going to be warmer. Does that change things at all, I guess, for you? The fact that in November you're going to go play somewhere where it's going to be 80 degrees?
I mean, obviously it's nice, It's nice to, have an away game where you can kind of almost, get away with, like, not having to feel uncomfortable in the cold, but it really doesn't change anything mentally in terms of how you prepare for the game. Maybe you just don't throw sleeves on instead. But at the end of the day, it's the same. We're going to play a game there, and so you prepare the same way.